Hi everyone, how are you this day? I hope that you are okay so that you can listen to this presentation. Now, we're gonna talk about the API. What is API?
What?
API is the acronym for Application Programming Interface, which is a software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other. The best example of this, each time you use an app like Facebook, send an instant message, sending friend requests, and accepting friend requests.
Click on friend request.
An API is a set of programming code that enables data transmission between software product to another. It also contains the terms of data exchange. For example, the application ShareIt. ShareIt is an application where you can send and receive data from another person. That's what an example of an API. Here's some picture that shows the flow of an API.
Is the Application Programming Interface, or API. It's the engine under the hood and is behind the scenes that we take for granted, but it's what makes possible all the interactivity we've come to expect and rely upon. But exactly what is an API? It's a question everyone asks. Okay, not really, but we're glad you did. Speak plainly, an API is the messenger that takes requests and tells a system what you want to do, and then returns the response back to you. To give you a familiar example, think of an API as a waiter in a restaurant. Imagine you're sitting at the table with a menu of choices to order from, and the kitchen is the part of the system which will prepare your order. What's missing is the critical link to communicate your order to the kitchen and deliver your food back to your table. That's where the waiter, or API, comes in. The waiter is the messenger that takes your request or order and tells the system, in this case the kitchen, what to do, and then delivers the response back to you, in this case, food. Now that we've whetted your appetite, let's apply this to a real API example. You are probably familiar with the process of searching for airline flights online. Just like at a restaurant, you have a menu of options to choose from. A drop-down menu in this case. You choose a departure city and date, a return city and date, cabin class, and other variables. In order to book your flight, you interact with the airline's website to access the airline's database to see if any seats are available on those dates and what the cost might be based on certain variables. But what if you're not using the airline's website, which has direct access to the information? What if you are using an online travel service that aggregates information from many different airlines? The travel service interacts with the airline's API. The API is the interface that, like your helpful waiter, can be asked by that online travel service to get information from the airline system over the internet to book seats, choose meal preferences, or baggage options. It also then takes the airline's response to your request and delivers it right back to the online travel service, which then shows it to you. So now you can see that it's APIs that make it possible for us all to use travel sites. The same goes for all interactions between applications, data, and devices. They all have APIs that allow computers to operate them, and that's what ultimately creates connectivity. So whenever you think of an API, just think of it as your waiter running back and forth between applications, databases, and devices to deliver data and create the connectivity that puts the world at our fingertips. And whenever you think of creating an API,
Here is a part of Application Programming Interface. A headless CMS. What is headless CMS? A headless CMS is a content management system that provides a way to author content, but instead of having your content coupled to a particular output like web page rendering, it provides your content as data over an API. Here some explanation I'm gonna show you. Now listen to this explanation about the content management system of headless CMS.
We have a editing interface. You can author your content. And then, of course, you have the database, You can think about the body in this metaphor. And then you have an integrated head. So this is the thing that makes the web pages that the visitors will see. So this is the classic system where everything is integrated as one monolithic system. The point of headless systems isn't actually that you don't want heads, it's that you can pick and choose. So you still have your authoring interface. You have your, hopefully awesome, if you're using Sanity, data backend where you have all your documents and do all your kind of backend things. But then the head, you severed the integrated head. You don't want it because you want to pick and choose your heads. So maybe you have maybe you like Ruby, so you have your website as a Ruby head, and then maybe someone asks to have your content on some screen in some airport somewhere, and maybe you have an Alexa skill that takes some of your content and presents it to a voice interface. So you build all these kinds of heads. Maybe it's like you have a podcast XML generator. That's one of your small heads, that is one small thing. So you can just pick and choose, and then now your content, it can go into the future, and it can be suited to all kinds of technologies that are upcoming without actually
Here are 5 examples of a headless CMS. Number 1. The Crap CMS. Crap CMS, founded in 2013. The system of Crap CMS is they let the users to create their own experience in doing their own account. The number 2, the Datto CMS. The Datto CMS is a headless content as a service platform. The system of the Datto CMS is producing information to the user and stacking information, this like the Google browser. The number 3, the Graph CMS. The Graph CMS is an API first CMS that entered the market in 2017. Graph CMS allows you to develop a hosted GraphQL backend for your applications where you can define relations, structures, and permissions of your application data. The number 4, Strapi. Strapi is an open source headless CMS built on Node.js. It enables you to build and manage multiple APIs. The last one is the eSpirit. The platform of eSpirit features hybrid tooling, AI-driven personalization, omni-channel marketing capabilities. Gartner recognized the eSpirit as a visionary in the WCM market. I hope that you learned to our topic today. Thank you for listening. Bye.